I'm always happy to share my stories with you. I'll have to write a memoir one of these days. It gives you a real insight into what's happening out there in the Pacific. Most recent operation I went on. Oh my God, that'll stay with me forever. Now, shortly after training was completed, the air crews were brought together to be told about our next operation, an attack on the Japanese-held oil refineries at Palembang in Sumatra. Now, as these briefings progressed, it became more and more obvious why we had undergone all that jungle survival training and the cross-country dive bombing exercise. This refinery was heavily fortified with anti-aircraft guns and the area surrounded by a balloon barrage. Oh, and of course, unlimited amount of Japanese Zeros, fighter planes, you know. Our target here was the oil cracking furnaces and plant control rooms. Most important bit, you see, that was where crude oil were refined. The attack was to be a combined effort. Now, early on morning at 24th of January 1945, we were called early to breakfast before our final briefing. Now, I was surprised to see Paymaster there, and he handed to each and every one of us a blood chit. This was an authorisation for us to guarantee the payment of a sum of money by His Majesty's government to any friendly native who gave us shelter and or returned us unharmed to the nearest British or American base. Fingers crossed there, eh? Now, it was printed in several languages and dialects of that part of Southeast Asia. Then, rather surprisingly, we were given about 50 gold sovereigns, each stuck on a length of elastoplast and folded into a compact little parcel. Now, this wasn't a bonus or danger money. Oh no, this was to be used for bribery. We could use these gold coins as a better bargaining tool. Although it would not do to let the natives know we had them, unless at a last resort of course, and then only one at a time as we negotiated. Now, I'll never forget the rather strange subdued atmosphere on the flight deck that morning of the raid. Well, we'd heard many unpleasant stories of Japanese atrocities, especially to our aircrew. So it was with great apprehension that we manned our aircraft, each carrying 4 500-pound bombs. Now, once we were up in the air, we flew for about 2 hours across impenetrable jungle. The enemy fighters, well, they greeted us with the most intense anti-aircraft fire. We flew in a new formation for this one, and I really think it swung it in our favour as we flew so closely together. Well, the Japanese had to attack us collectively, and you know what it's like with strength in numbers, so luck was on our side there. Now, we successfully released our bombs, but as we pulled up out of that dive, that's when our trouble really started. We'd been so concerned about the balloons and getting out of the way at wire lines that would slice our aircrafts in pieces. None of us had spotted the bloody Japanese fighters heading towards us. We didn't have to be told we were in trouble now. We were running with a gauntlet here. We stuck together and worked as a team, putting our training into action. We moved strategically, with violent alterations of course. That was to throw the approaching fighters' aim off. We repeated this manoeuvre for what seemed a long part of time. But they either gave up then, from sheer frustration of it, or lack of fuel. I'll never know. We got back in one piece, although we lost one aircraft. It was piloted by a Canadian chap, CPO, called Mitchell. We didn't even have time to get out of our cockpit before being surrounded by ground crews and other crews that weren't out on the raid. And they were asking all manner of questions. It was quite a sight. Everyone wanted to know what had happened. My God, what a welcome back that was.